One of the things that I like trying to do with an arrangement is to perform something spontaneously on the fly and really just to capture that performance. And it's very different to thinking in terms of a kind of left to right structure. And I really like the vibe. So I'm going to show you an approach that you can use. It doesn't have to be the Novation Launchkey, but that's what I'm going to be using. And I've got Ableton Live here with a very small selection of track elements, so I've deliberately kept it simple. Got 8 kind of tracks in terms of what's happening here, and I'll show you what it is at the moment. I'm just going to play this scene here. So once again, a real kind of 90s influenced sort of New York house kind of flavor, and just going to flip down here. Get the vocals on the go as well. I'm going to trigger these now. So that's the vibe, you know, so 8 track elements, and what I want to do is record these into that arrangement view. But before I do that, I'm going to do some setup. One of the things that I want to do before I get moving is to just make sure that I don't get lost on here. You know, these pads, they don't have the names of the tracks on them. And so we need to get a little bit of a reminder as to what's going on. So I've got some masking tape here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a little channel strip. This is much like we used to do back in the day on the hardware mixers. You know, we used to do this sort of thing, write down the track names. So I'm going to put a little strip here. And I'm just going to get those names down. Little dividers. So we'll get these matching up. So we've got the drums, and then there's a tambourine. Next one, the bass line, string. Then we've got a pad, which you haven't heard yet. Organ. 2 vocal stabs. One is U, and then the other one is some kind of little short S sound. So look, I've got a little visual reminder there. That's going to make it easier when I'm navigating. The launch key basically works on this navigation here, so you're going up and down the scenes, but I haven't actually structured Ableton in any particular way with these scenes. I've just done some variations. If you take a look at I'll show you here with the mouse, we've got some clips here. We've got an intro beat, which is a simple version of the drum beat, then it's slightly more progressed, and then there's more elements here. So these clips are just representing variations in the drum pattern. The tambourine here is an audio loop that's identical on both of these. Bassline is just a single clip here, and I just had these 3 arranged so that we could hear them together on that intro section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to build a structure on the fly, like I said, and do this using the switching from the hardware, so really to get that hands-on vibe. But another thing that I want to do is to have the ability to mute and solo tracks. And one of the things about this particular keyboard is you have this in control section here. You can switch in and out of that, and it's really flexible actually. On my cut down version here, the Launchkey 25, I don't have the solos or the faders, so I'm going to improvise a bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn in control off, which means that these buttons, when I push that, when that's not illuminated, it just becomes a standard MIDI controller. So that means that I could assign these to the mutes and solos. So we're going to do that now. And what I'm going to do is just do Command or Control plus M, and that's going to put us into the MIDI assign mode in Ableton Live. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the top row of buttons to the on and off switches. So this is going to be on the drums here. So what I'm going to do is click on that, I'm going to push the button. You can see that's assigned. Let's move our way through these. So really just putting on this remote control for each of these and that's going to be great. So that's the first stage. The other thing that I want to do is also to assign solo. So we're going to go for the second row of buttons here. I may not use the full extent of all of these mappings. Whoa, I'm losing track here. Let's just keep that up to date. Where are we? I've gone on to pad. There we go. So it just shows you how important it is to get that channel strip labeling when you're not fully concentrating about where everything is. That's going to be a real help for you. So there we go. So we're going to do Command or Control plus M to take us out of that, and we could now have a play around with it. Let me just get this on the go. So back into In Control, going to trigger this, take it out, and then we can turn the drums off. This is the kind of stuff that could be recorded in, and I love that kind of flavor. So on and off, let's take the tambourine off, organ off, solo the bass, you know, for a dub, for a 90s dub, this kind of thing's just perfect. So that's the setup, and what I'll do now on the next section is I'm going to set this up literally to record, and I'm going to do performance on the fly. So if you use Ableton in arranging your track, you'll be used to the arrange window. So pushing the tab brings this up, and what I want to do is to literally record into this window what we've actually got going on. So I'm going to just push the stop button here, and that's going to take us back to the beginning. And if I push record, when we're in the session view, it's going to record everything that I do into that arranged track. So we're going to go back onto In Control, and I'm going to start off with a couple of these elements. Let me see, something like this. I think, you know, the drums, I'm going to take that tambourine off. So let's just have a listen, just check. Oh, a couple of these other elements are playing. So let's just come down here, let's trigger that. That's going to turn off all of the clips. So we'll be in a good position to start. So I am going to be setting this up like that, probably bringing the tambourine in, maybe switching it in and out like that. I quite like that. And then I will move down to progress through those beats and then start really feeling my way in terms of how that structure is going to go. All right, so yeah, I think I'm probably ready for this. I'll probably make some mistakes, but you know, the whole kind of spontaneous vibe is what I want here. And then to be able to go back into what I've just been doing and evaluate what I've done and maybe fix it up if I need to. So I'm going to push record and let's see what happens. Just to show you, in the arrangement view, it's recording the MIDI data in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger that tambourine coming up for the next 8-bar section. Always triggering just before the next cycle. And let's bring this down so that I can access the next drum pattern here. So here we go, progression. Because remember, what we're doing here is this is for DJs, alright? Now possibly we could start bringing that organ in. So I'm going to bring this down. Get ready. Here we go. It's going to be time to progress that drum beat as well. Let's bring that bass in. Now I could probably have done with some kind of mutes or something at the moment, but it's difficult to juggle between all of these at the moment. So we'll see what happens. So I think what we're going to aim for, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to the complete scene here. Let's see what happens. So it's almost like a breakdown. maybe the complete scene. So that could have been a bit of a breakdown, and that's going to need some editing. Let's see where we're at on the whole arrangement. Yeah, you can see that breakdown here. I'm going to take the in control off a second, and then take out the beat. So anyway, that's the whole kind of vibe. What I'd need to do is to really get in there and start working with it and working on that arrangement. Personally, I'm not feeling what I did here, and what I'd need to do is to go back and go over that. But I just wanted to give you guys a sense of this concept, because it's an approach that I use quite often, and I find it really quite nice and spontaneous instead of sitting down and dragging the elements out in the arrange window. So you guys might benefit from that also. If you've been following my posts on my Facebook page and my Twitter account, you might have heard me basically moaning about Machine recently, and I love all this hands-on vibe on Machine. If you check out the other videos on my channel, you see some really nice examples of just real live jamming with buttons and vibing. The one thing that Machine is missing at the moment is this ability to record the switching, the mutes, all that kind of stuff into the arrange, and that's something I really hope that Native Instruments address and bring in, because I don't see why it should threaten anybody on the DAW side. It doesn't turn it into a full-blown DAW, just really the ability to record pattern switching, scene switching, mutes and solos into some form of arrangement track in Machine would be absolutely fantastic. But we can't ask for everything, can we? And I'm lucky that I've got this Novation Launchkey keyboard, which I got for Christmas, which is great, and this can really bring that hands-on vibe. So if you have any questions about this, please put them into the comments below. And it's the 1st of January 2014, so I'm going to wish you all a successful new year.